Good evening, a very warm welcome to you all at home. My name is Jesse Jackson Kauraisa with my co-host here, Limba Mupetami. Welcome to the studio,
Thanks,
Limba.
Jesse. Thank you.
It has been a great weekend with plenty of events within our borders and outside Namibian borders. My colleague here, Limba Mupetani, will take us through what transpired at the weekend.
Well, we had the Nedbank mountain bike competition challenge. We had the Nedbank cycle challenge this weekend that took place on Sunday. One of Namibia's wheelchair athletes, Rutli Kavasa, won bronze in South Africa. We also have news that the Hartas Cup will not be taking place this year. And in other news, we last week also had an interview with Johnny Dwesa when he launched his manifesto. Also, moving onward, we have news that Peter Shalulile scored 2 goals for his club on Saturday. Also, Caster Semenya ran on Friday. She broke a record in the 30 meters race in South Africa. And international news, City was banned from the UEFA Championships. Yeah, so those are some of the things that we'll be looking at.
Oh, wow, what a wonderful weekend we had. Not lacking of entertainment, Limba. Could you take us through the Nedbank Cycle Challenge? Who were the winners there, and how was the day actually in general? Because I saw amazing footage brought to you by Namibia Media Holdings there.
Yes, of course. On Saturday, as I said, there was the mountain bike challenge. This was won by Brendan Plykes and Michelle Foster. And on Sunday, we had the big one, the Nedbank Cycle Challenge. It was quite epic. There was a lot of young kids that were cycling, as well as the older senior guys as well. That race, the 100 kilometers, was won by Belgian cyclist Victor Kempernites. I hope I'm saying his surname right. That was in 2 hours, 11 minutes and 35 seconds. He was followed by our own Dan Craven and Martin Freyer. That was actually a very, very, very close race. In the women's 100 kilometers, Michelle Foster, just like she did on Saturday, again took the 100 kilometers. That was in 2 hours, 39 minutes and 31 seconds. So well done to her. And yeah, and that's about it.
Well done to the Namibian cyclists there for doing a great job. After that, we managed to get footage from the victor himself on the day, and also the highlights of the entire event, the Nedbank Cycle Challenge.
All right. Well, welcome to Namibia for a second time. Are you really considering making this your second home?
No, I think that's a bit exaggerated, but it's a real good place to come for training camps because at this time it's winter in Europe. At my place at home it's like 5 degrees and raining all day. Big difference to Namibia, and also it's altitude, and altitude is really good for preparing the best possible performances in sports. So yes, I feel really good in Namibia. I feel really safe. I like training over here, so big chances that I come back next year.
I'm so glad to hear that. How did you come to hear of Namibia?
Some Dutch triathletes also come over here. And I was looking for a good place to go on altitude training camp at the southern part of the world to get a good climate at this time of the year. And they said Namibia would be a good option to go, and I went here last year and it was a good experience, so I came back.
Please tell us about your bike. What equipment do you use?
I use a BMC bike, SLR 01. It's my road bike. I have NV wheels. It's a super fast bike, good disc brakes. It's super good to handle. And of course I have my time trial bike, TM Time Machine 01, and that's a really super fast bike. And also I'm a time trial specialist, so I prefer to ride on this bike. Of course, in a race like today, Nedbank Cycling Challenge, I'm not allowed to ride with my time trial bike because it would be unfair and also dangerous in the bunch. In a time trial you ride on your own, and that's in fact my specialty. I'm also the world hour record holder. That's an event you do on your own, and you try to cover the biggest distance possible in 1 hour on a track. And on a track it's like a circle of 250 meters, and I covered like 55.1k. That's really fast to ride.
And you said it up here, if I'm correct.
No. I prepared over here last year, and then I went to Mexico to break the record.
And wherever you go, you take your bike along.
Yes, really rarely I go on a holiday. Doesn't happen too often. Last year I had a holiday of like 4 days that I didn't take my bike with. But yes, in general I always take my bike everywhere, and I ride somewhere in between 500 to 1,000 kilometers a week on my bike.
And I see you're a big supporter of physically active youth. Tell us, what is your involvement going to be now? What are you planning with Dan?
We went there. Dan Craven introduced me to the program last week, and I was really happy to see how they work, and especially how motivated the kids are. Not only on the bikes, but especially when they were studying. I saw they were really keen to learn and quiet and paying attention. And I think that's a real good project, and I thought maybe it's a good thing to support it. So I try and win the race, and I donate the money, and then Dan donate also his money, Martin, and then Netbank double the money, and now we have like 54,000 Namibian rand, and I think that's a good donation.
For sure. And are we going to see you next year here again?
Not 100% sure, but 90% sure, yes.
Well, we're holding thumbs. Thank you so much for your time, and good luck with next week's events.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Limba, Rutli Gavasep, the Quantanica wheelchair challenge in South Africa, the men came in third, bronze medal after even crashing during the competition. I mean, like, what a remarkable scene for him.
Yeah, of course, Jesse. I remember even prior to the event, he was actually looking for sponsorship, you know, to be able to take part in this competition. And Harold and Snyman's Transport eventually sponsored the athlete with $25,000. So I think, I mean, maybe had he not crashed, I think maybe he would have been in a position to take silver or maybe even gold.
Yes, Limba, and it's quite true. Namibia Paralympics is underfunded. We all know this. It has been going on for a while, but if you look at it, our athletes, the Paralympic athletes, are actually the ones that have actually excelled at top competitions. What do you think should be done to actually improve this, and what do you think of the situation currently at Paralympics Namibia?
Yeah, you see, not only for Kavasep himself, you know, but over the years we've been lobbying we've been lobbying companies, to try and sponsor para-athletes. I think it's evident over the years that in every competition that they take part in, that they always manage to come back with a medal. So, I mean, that should be a wake-up call for corporates, for the government as well, looking at the sports budget, for instance, and companies who have not adopted, rather, athletes to do so. I mean, Harold and Snyman's coming on board just goes to show, and him even eventually winning should be a motivation for them to come on board and, just open their coffers to these athletes.
Remarkable indeed.
Yeah.
We actually have news about the Harters Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, the MTC Harters Cup event will not be played this year. The company announced, and you are wondering what's going to happen to this. Limba, take us through those emotions. What do you think is going to happen?
I mean, if you're living in a town like Ludwitz, for instance, I don't think there's a lot of things that are happening, socially. I mean, and maybe there are concerts, but whatsoever not. But when it comes to sports, I think it's going to hit these guys a little bit hard, because I think a lot of these young guys are depending on these type of tournaments to expose themselves to other competitions, or maybe to be pulled by one or two clubs, even though there's no local football at the moment. So I mean, it's gonna hit them very hard, and I think that MTC most probably pulling out, or rather there not being any funds, should be also now be a wake-up call to other companies and so forth to try and jump in and say, okay, fine, I'm going to take on this cup for the next 3 years or so. I throw the ball now back to the community of Ludwitz, maybe to try and lobby each other and raise funds for this cup to continue. Yeah.
That's well indeed. During the week, we actually had a very important, I must say, press conference or launch of a manifesto by one of the 4 NFA president candidates, Johnny Doisep. This was indeed one of an historical day, because we have not witnessed such things over the 30 years that we have seen, and actually JJD was the first one to launch his manifesto. So what do you make of that? What do you think are his chances of actually even winning?
Well, I was at the launch when he was presenting his manifesto, and some of the points that he highlighted, or rather the pillars, that he put on the table, were quite impressive. That the way he wants to turn around local football and whatsoever not. I think if you missed that, maybe you can check out one of our sport pages as well. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think he needs to. I don't know what he's going to do, but of course with the other candidates that are also in the race, and Ranga Hekali also having stepped in and dropped a bomb last week, saying that he has already won the seat. I mean, I don't know if that was maybe a little bit premature for him to say, but yeah, I think it's going to be a tough one. So I can't really predict right now as to who is going to win with all of these claims coming in, but let's see how it goes.
Yes, let's see. We managed actually to speak to JJD himself, and this is what he had to say.
So JJD, you made quite valid points in your manifesto today, with some important elements right there in terms of trying to bring the chairman of the NPL as a vice president, or third vice president, I understand. So what motivated this thought?
What motivated this thought is because I've seen a division within football. And for football to go forward, we need to cut division and be united as one. Because we want to restore the love of the game and restore create a winning mentality for the game. Now as leaders, if we are not united, we will not create that and restore the love of the game and create a winning formula. Because what needs to happen is that to cut out the current impasse that's there, the infighting, let's be one. Let's create a one unit that will transform football, that will promote football and enhance and develop the game and take it to the next level.
Okay, there's also something about women's football development, the gap that we know that is standing. There's actually a gap between women's football and male football. So what are your plans to motivate and bridge the gap and ensure that women's football also stands up like in other countries?
That's one of the points that pains my heart to see that there is a gap in an abnormally within allocation of resources. Because what we are doing is that once we do that, we are actually discriminating against the young girls, and that gap needs to be abolished, and it must be something of the past. What needs to happen is during our national football endeavor, these are one of the challenges that will be there, and we will find a lasting solution for this type of things. Because what we need to have is that we need corporates on board, but for us to have corporate on board, we need to tell them what our challenges are, our shortcomings are, so that they can equally help us to restore and find lasting solutions for these problems.
Yes, in terms of marketing of the game, it's quite important. We spoke about the Secretary General position. There are actually many more positions in terms of the business side aspect of the Namibian Football Association, which we have seen lurking for many years. How do you intend to bring change upon that to ensure that the marketing in football and the NFA is actually a top notch?
During the football, national football endeavor, one thing that I will be proposing with my executive is a commercial arm for the NFA, where we'll bring in expertise, people of the know-how, so they can come and help us to create a structure within NFA that will promote football to the next level in terms of sourcing finances, in terms of promotion and marketing of the game. When you are undercapacitated, you cannot do all these things because only a patient drives you, but you might lack the expertise. We need expertise and capacity within the office for us to achieve all these things.
One thing, it's the inclusion of every Namibian child. There has been complaints all over, and it's no secret that sometimes the national team consists of a current brand of tribes, or it's mostly some tribes have actually felt left out of the game, and it has quite been an uproar on social media about people complaining about why is a certain tribe only included. Is it because the president is of that tribe? Is it because the secretary general is of that tribe? And in terms of also employment within the structures of the NFA, it has always been judged by that certain tribe is dominating these employments. How do you intend to bring change towards that?
Football is about fair play. My slogan is about unity and inclusion. It means that everybody must be included. We must give everybody an equal chance. As long as you are a Namibian, we must provide and give you the platform to come and showcase and perform. When we are looking
Welcome back. Now we go to the international news for the weekend. I understand that our own Peter Shalulile, he's making headlines in South Africa, scoring a brace, and also in the race for the Golden Boot. Take us through that. What do you think? Because Peter had a dry period. He started well and had a dry period, but now he's back at it again.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last time he scored was in December, somewhere in December. And
then recently.
Yeah, and then recently that he scored now. He's standing at 11 goals. You see, the thing with Peter, I think, is that he's just a hardworking player. You know, he always tries to put himself in situations where he can either create for someone or eventually score. What is going through his moment, I mean, in his mind, towards the build-up of the Golden Boot, I think knowing him, he's a believer of teamwork. So I don't think he wants, most probably, I mean, every player wants that, but I don't think at the moment he's thinking about winning this all by himself, and rather maybe just trying to keep the team on top, you know, in the top 10 and so forth. So I think teamwork must be what is going through his mind.
Yes, indeed. And we remember also, we forgot to mention that, but Dion Hotto was also on target for his team and managed to win a game. We go back to actually one of Africa's biggest athletes, Caster Semenya. Caster Semenya was in action this weekend. And
on Friday, yes.
Yes, and she actually thrilled. Take us through that.
Yes, well, on Friday she was taking part in the Johannesburg track and field. She took part in the 300 meters race. She broke a record actually in 36.78 seconds. She's doing quite well, you know, despite the fact that she had a case, you know, with the whole regulation of her testosterone and so forth. yeah, so that was a brilliant race for her.
Yes, I think it means a lot to her. We know her situation with the IAF and all those things. I mean, like winning such a, getting back to winning ways is always something wonderful to see. Manchester City, one of the biggest news of the weekend. We know that they have been banned from UEFA competitions for 2 years. Slammed with that ban, quite a sad scenario, a situation for the fans who have been supporting Manchester City all over the world. I mean, this is a rich team having rich owners. Now they have been slapped with this ban, with these top quality players that they have. What do you think the near future holds for this club?
You see, I think one of the, you know, when Pep Guardiola signed contract with City, I think one of his tasks most probably was to win UEFA Championship and so forth. So looking at it at the moment, being banned for 2 years, I mean, puts a dent in the plans of the team. With the players, their careers, I'm not sure what is going to happen now. Are they going to appeal the case? I'm sure they're going to appeal because, I mean, obviously they have a lot of money to be able to do that. So maybe they'll be looking at appealing.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Pep Guardiola is likely, he has been linked with a club in Italy. Reports are doing rounds at the moment. There's also a few players that one must suspect would be leaving
Most
the
probably,
club
yeah.
because they would like to play Champions League football, you know, and it's also, it will be quite difficult for the club to sign a few players because many players only move to teams where they know that they are guaranteed of a Champions League
Absolutely.
play.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's going to be difficult, and I think that it's not actually good for English football, but then this gives space for clubs like Manchester United, Arsenal
To step up
to
more.
step up and actually target the 5th position, because the club that finish in the 5th position in the Premier League will be guaranteed of a Champions League playoff. And I saw Arsenal over the weekend and they were quite rampant. I'm
Exactly.
sure you must have been happy with
Of course,
that.
yeah, of course, I'm very happy because you see, we saw Lacazette scoring as well. He was quite excited about that as well, and I could see. I mean, in the first half, we didn't really play, or rather move forward with the ball as we would have wanted to. But in the second half, I mean, a lot of that changed with the first goal that came in. So I mean, they're on the right path. I mean, the future looks very bright for them.
It does,
Yeah.
indeed. We will go for a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to give you the results in detail and as well as the fixtures for the week ahead. Yes, over the weekend we saw that the Super Rugby took place with Auckland Blues beating the Crusaders 8-25. We also had the English Premier League whereby Wolverhampton drew level with Leicester City. That was in the English Premier League. The Absa Premiership also produced great results over the weekend, seeing that Kaizer Chiefs lost 2-1 to Maritzburg United, while Mamelodi Sundowns managed to beat Chippa United 3-0. Also in the English Premier League, Liverpool, the runaway log leaders, continued their fine form over the weekend after beating Norwich City away from home with a goal 2-0. In the Spanish La Liga, Barcelona back to winning ways after beating Getafe 2-1. This was also one of a strong game. In the Super Rugby also, Cranberries Brumbies were beaten by Highlanders 23-22 at the weekend. And now we take you through to the upcoming fixtures that you must be looking forward to watching over the week ahead. And there's quite an important match tonight where Manchester United are playing Chelsea away from home. The race for the top 4 is still on at this moment, and we hope to see a great match there. On Tuesday, Atletico Madrid and Liverpool return with the Champions League. It is going to be another hectic game there. Entertaining indeed. We must expect some fireworks on the day. On Wednesday, we're going to have a cricket momentum one-day competition where WSB Cape Cobras challenge the Hollywood Bets Dolphins. This is on Wednesday. Manchester City, this is their chance for redemption in the Champions League, probably one of their final Champions League games, because obviously we know about the 2-season ban. Manchester City will actually play, no, not in the Champions League, but they will play in the English Premier League. They are actually playing on Wednesday at 9, and they are playing West Ham United. The Champions League actually continues with Tottenham Hotspurs hosting Leipzig. This is also on Wednesday. And that's it from us and the fixtures. You can actually watch more or read more about the fixtures and results in today's sports wrap, which goes through in the Republican, the Namibian Sun, and the Allgemeine Zeitung. It has been actually a great pleasure, Limba, being with you today.
Thanks so much,
and
Jess.
thank you. And to all the viewers, thank you for having been with us today. Good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.